Hi, I'm Jenny and I'm a horticulturist here at RHS Garden Wisley. It's April and here in sunny southeast England, it's a really good time to sow hardy annuals outside. I'm particularly excited because today I'm going to be turning this sandy path into a beautiful haven of biodiverse flowers. Why am I sowing into a path? Well, generally the most biodiverse spots are the bits where two different ecosystems meet. So I want to sow into this path to create a beautiful seamless flow from the bed to the path. I've chosen the flowers that I'm going to sow today because they will all be absolutely fine in a really harsh growing environment. As you can see, this path is sandy, so there's barely any nutrients in there and it's laid over hard core. They'll be quite small in this bed, but that is completely fine. The first flower that I'm going to sow is Borago officinalis, known as borage. I love this because of its beautiful blue flower. I really like adding that to a rainbow salad. That way you can get all the colours of a rainbow in a salad. The flowers are really nice in gin as well. Adds a touch of class to a gin and tonic. The next one I'm going to sow is a Schultzia californica, and the cultivar is Carmine King. I love them in drop scones in the morning. Just add them to the batter once you've put that in the pan, just to make your drop scone slightly fancier for breakfast. The next one I've chosen is Lobularia maritima, and the cultivar is Carpet of Snow. Common name is Alyssum, and it forms these beautiful white mounds of honey-scented flowers. And that scent, that really strong honey scent that you get from the flower, is exactly the taste that you get from each individual little flower. The last one I will sow is Chamomellum nobile, or chamomile. This is a Roman chamomile, and it's grown for its lovely flowers that you can put in a chamomile tea. It also does have a lovely creeping habit, so that should spread beautifully across the paths over time and hopefully release a nice scent as visitors walk past. For all these seeds, the first thing to do is to create a really good seed bed. Initially, what I'll do is I will hoe the ground. The hoeing will release the compaction, which is really necessary as this has been used as a path, and could create a really good texture for sowing our seeds. Now that we've got a really lovely fine tilth, we have the perfect seed bed for our seeds. I'm going to be using 4 different techniques to sow these seeds, and the first technique I'm going to be using is for borage. So for these, I'm going to station sow them. To create the stations, I'll just be taking my gardening knife, popping it into the ground and gently moving it. This creates a little hole about 1 centimetre deep. Once I've covered this over, I'll give it a little tamp down. This is just to make sure that the seed has really good contact with the soil, or in this case, with the sand. The next seed I'm going to be sowing is Alyssum. I'm going to be using a sprinkling technique. If it was a really big space, I would suggest broadcasting. What I'll do is gently sprinkle them over the ground, keeping my hand really low because this is a very windy site. I'm going for quite a sparse sowing, as I will be thinning these seeds out, and I don't want to be wasting seed by having too many to thin out. Now that they're sprinkled beautifully on the surface of the soil, I'm going to rake them in. It's important to make sure you rake in quite a few different directions so that you don't end up with all your seed in one corner. This raking will make sure that the seeds are gently covered with a really fine layer of soil, or in this case, sand. Make sure that you're using a really fine rose, and with a lovely consistent action, try and get even coverage of water over the whole seed bed. So the next flower I'm going to sow is the Californian poppy. We'll be sowing this in drills. To create the drill, I'm just going to draw my knife through the soil. I'm then going to water the drill. Doing this before sowing the seed is good for a few reasons. One, it can really establish your drill, and that makes it easier to sow into, but also it means that when you're sowing, it's less likely that you're going to wash your seed away. I'm going to sprinkle these sparsely into the drill so that I'm not wasting seed when I'm thinning them out later to their eventual spacing. I'll then gather the soil into the middle and gently pat it down, again to make sure that we've got really good contact with the soil and the seed. Finally, I'm going to be sowing chamomile. I'm going to water the bed before I sow the seeds. This is because they're really small, so they could easily wash away if I water them afterwards. Because the seeds are so small, I've mixed them with fine sand. This makes it much easier for me to handle them and for me to scatter them over the ground. I've put them into the palm of my hand, and I'm going to gently tap the side of my hand to get the most even coverage I can as I'm going over the soil. For all your seedlings, aftercare is really important. The first and foremost thing to do is make sure that your seed beds remain moist until germination. Then it's important to make sure that your seedlings aren't outcompeted by other plants. The next thing to do is to observe your plants, and once they start getting to a good size, thin them out. It's really important to make sure that what you're eating is suitable to be eaten. And if you are buying plants from the garden centre, wait at least 3 months because chemicals may have been used in the processing of rearing those plants. Whatever edible flowers you decide to grow, now is the time to get out there and get sowing. Have a wonderful time and let us know what edible flowers you discover this season.